Good morning, welcome. I'm Melissa. Thank you for being here. Today's video is all about these imports, and I'm going to finally be taking care of them and potting them up. I'm going to play the other clips first, kind of on their journey from when I unboxed these. I got these from Aroid Market. It's been, oh gosh, probably over 2 months. And so they've been like well acclimated. I still have them in perlite. And yeah, it is time. They've been doing well. I no longer have the variegated Friedac. That one I sold. And the rest of them are all variegated. It was that fun unboxing. So we're gonna rewind a little bit back in time to our first little like update with them. And then we're gonna come back on in real time and pot these up. So I hope you enjoy, and yeah, let's get started. Hello, I just wanted to pop on to give you an update on the imports. They're all right here. They're doing very well. I imagine they're probably going to stay like this through maybe a good part of November. I would like to get them potted up before it gets super cold, you know, when we really start getting into winter. But we'll see. I'm thinking that I'm probably going to leave them like this at least till the end of the month. It's the 21st of October right now, so at least another 4 weeks is what I'm thinking. So let me give you a peek at them. Chai says hi. Hey buddies. Hey buds. So this is our current situation here. This Anthurium, I don't have like under extra humidity, but it seems to be doing well. At least I'm hoping. The leaves look nice and perky and happy. Perlite still seems pretty damp. And again, I like barely put any water in here, but you can see the condensation. I don't know if you can tell. And then the rest of them, what I did was I created a little humidity dome with 2 plastic bins. It's not like tightly covered. I did let this get some airflow, maybe for a couple hours the other day. Just so that it wasn't like super condensation in here, because I noticed the browning on this leaf here. So I was like, maybe it's staying a little too wet. So I let it air out some, but I feel like this plant tends to brown the variegated Monstera Peru. But the alocasia, the leaves are holding up very well. The variegated micans, doing so well. You can kind of see that condensation there. I haven't really noticed anyone rooting too much yet. This Anthurium looks really perky and happy. They'll definitely have to like rot and shut off their old roots. So in the meantime, they should be growing, you know, some new healthy roots. This one I did have some leaves that kind of rotted off, which, you know, just happens with imports as they're adjusting. But definitely keeping these guys under like pretty good humidity for the first week will definitely like help them acclimate. So yeah, they've just been kind of hanging out here. They're close to the window so they can get light. And I've just been kind of checking on them. So I might leave this off a little bit today. I'm just gonna kind of tilt it like that so that it's kind of open right here. I'll probably do another update in like a week or two. Once I start noticing some roots growing in or if something happens to one of them, I'll pop on and update you. But yeah, they're just gonna take their time kind of growing some healthy roots and adjusting. That could take a month or longer, 6 weeks, you know, for full acclimation to happen for some plants. So yeah, I will do another check-in with you guys soon. So I will talk to you guys later. Hello guys, I'm doing a check-in. It is Wednesday, November 1st. Oh, there. And I want to do an update on the imports and just show you really quick how they're doing since I last did an update. I think it's been 8 or 9 days maybe since I last checked in. So I do want to just share some progress updates. I feel like I should be able to pot them up in a couple of weeks. I feel like they're making some new roots and they're making some progress. Some have some new growth happening. So let me give you a peek at them. So good news is I have a new leaf coming in here, right there. And all 3 leaves that are still remaining look pretty good. I'm surprised I didn't really have that much browning on the white parts, especially with all the root damage from transitioning, being imported. I feel like this has held up so well. From my previous imports, I haven't had an alocasia, so I feel like alocasias, as finicky as they are, I don't know, this one imported so well. And I have lots of healthy roots in here. Right here, can you see all those healthy new roots growing in? I am shocked at how well this is doing. For an import, it's doing so well. I feel like I can definitely get this potted up soon. I would probably think pon, but again, I don't need more variegated Alocasia fridex, so I don't know what my plan is with this one. I'll probably let this one go. Maybe, I don't know, I haven't decided yet, but it's doing so well. As far as the micans, I don't really have too much of an update with this one. It hasn't really, oh, it is actually, it is working on its new growth. You see right there? And then it has some fuzzy roots coming in too off of that one, and there's a fuzzy root. Oh, right there, you can see. And I can't tell if it's rooting much in here. It's just, I feel like I centered this one pretty good, so none of the roots have extended beyond the perlite, so I'm not sure how that one's doing with the root system. But I feel like propagating this one sooner than later, so I'm gonna wait and see what the leaf is. If it's all green, I'm definitely gonna cut it back. Next up is Monstera Peru variegata. It looks pretty happy. Again, this original leaf down here browned quite a bit, but I'm not surprised by that because I feel like this happens with these plants, and with it being an import, like I said, in the root health. As far as the root system on here, I can't tell that it's done much of anything yet, but I feel like it is pushing some aerials here in the glass a little bit. So I feel like it's doing okay. I don't know when it would be pushing a new leaf. When I had my variegated Peru, it was a little bit slower to push growth, I feel like. So I feel like this one's gonna take a bit for that to happen. The anthurium is doing well. It's actually pushing a new leaf right here. It's so cute and little. Do you see that? Look at how stinking cute it is. And I have some roots right here coming in. Oh, right there. And yeah, it's hard to tell with perlite sometimes, depending on how it's centered. Oh, and I just saw that huge new root. I didn't even see that. Let me show you. There's a big root right there. Do you see that right there? That's a big fuzzy one. So this one is doing well. This is the variegated violin. I feel like I always have trouble remembering what this one is. It's a little wobbly in here. I probably need to secure that better. I do have lots of roots coming in, lots of aerials and everything. I feel like it may be wanting to push a new growth out of there. I can't tell much rooting happening here, but it has a pretty good root system up top here. I think I just need to add some perlite into here, so I'll have to do that if I don't forget. So what I've been doing, they're still in the bucket like this. I've had them all in here, minus the big one I haven't shown you yet. But I've kept the lid on just so the cats don't get into them because they're on my table here. But what I've been doing is I've cracked it so that they're not getting exactly 100% humidity anymore, because I don't want them to get used to that environment. So I've had it on just to cover them, but then I've turned the lid so that airflow can get in and they can get used to kind of more ambient humidity. But the higher humidity has helped them recover for sure. The only one left to show you is this big anthurium here. It has browned a little bit on the variegated leaf right here. Some browning. This one had a pretty hefty root system, but I can't tell how many of those roots are actually rotted in here and if there's any new ones growing. There is new roots growing from the top in here, from the top aerial root, you can kind of see right there. But as far as the actual root system itself, I don't know what's happening and I don't want to disturb it. So again, I haven't added actually any water to this. And it's still pretty moist. So yeah, I haven't added water to any of these. This one hasn't been getting any humidity as far as like any extra. It's just been sitting on my table. But since these guys have been under pretty high humidity, the moisture in there is pretty contained. But since this one is a pretty hefty container, that's probably why I haven't had to add anything. But you can tell that it's not dry or anything yet. So yeah, they are all surprisingly doing very well. I feel very happy with them all. I would say the one that's doing the best right now is definitely the alocasia, which is surprising me. I wouldn't think that this one would have done the best. It's amazing how different plants import and rehab, I guess, because they're all getting the same care and environment right now. So it is just interesting to see. So that is the update with the imports as of November 1st. So the next update, I'll probably do one next weekend. So today's Wednesday, so it'll probably be another like 10-ish days is when I'll check in again. And I'll see how the root system is looking. If I notice more of these guys with more healthy roots growing, then I'll think about potting them up in like maybe another week after that point. But if I still feel like there isn't enough of a root system, I don't want to pot them up yet because I don't want them to shock transitioning to a different substrate without enough roots, if that makes sense. The anthurium I'm going to do in pon, and the alocasia. The micans I'm probably going to propagate and do in soil. And I haven't thought about these two philodendron. I'll probably end up doing, or this monstera and this philodendron I'll probably do in soil. But definitely the anthurium and alocasia are going to go in pon for sure. I just love pon for those plants and they do so well in it. So yeah, I will see you guys again in like a week and a half for another check-in. So since that last update, it's been a little while. They have been doing well. So I'm just going to grab one, no particular order, and we're just going to take care of it because I do have 5 here to take care of. So actually what I might do, let's go to our sink first and wash the perlite off and clean off the roots because there is a lot of like old rotted roots that are in this perlite. A lot of them have grown in some new healthy roots, but yeah, they've been in this for a while. So we're gonna clean the root system off. It'll be easier just to do them all at once. And then I'll just kind of submerge them in a little bit of water and then we'll pot them up one by one. The sun is coming in now. Oh no. I tried to film earlier in the day so that it wouldn't be so bright, but it's so funny seeing the sun because last night, I guess all those storms that were out in the Midwest came to the East Coast. It got so bad here. I could have sworn I heard hail last night, but it was so windy. It just got so bad. It's weird seeing like it being so dark and thunderstormy and crazy last night compared to bright and sunny today. I'm gonna actually bend you closer, but I just kind of wanted to give you an overview now that everyone is rinsed off. Roots look okay. Honestly, not impressed with a lot of the roots. I thought there was going to be more healthy roots that grew in that time, and I think maybe just it being winter and them not like an ideal light, I think is probably why. Because I just had them sitting on the table in the dining area, and that gets like minimal light, and they weren't super close to the window. They were at least, I would say, 3 feet or so away. This one had a pretty like nice little root system that came in, like new roots. This is going to do so well in pond. The bigger Anthurium here, I feel like I can manage it in a smaller pot of pond. It still has like very chunky root system. It grew in a little bit of new roots, and a lot of these ones here on the bottom are still some of the original roots. And it has a couple new roots that have grown in on the old ones. That's why I didn't want to like cut them all off. A lot of it did kind of rot. After I rinsed this one like for at least 5 more minutes, trying to get any of the crusty stuff off like in between this thing since it was so mature. So hopefully I can find a good vessel to do this one in pond with. And then the Monstera Peru was an okay root system. It grew some new roots in. This one, I cut off a lot of the rotted roots, but anything like up top was all new, this philodendron. And then again, the Micans, not really impressed with that root system either, but I'm gonna be propping this up anyway. So I'm gonna do the Micans first because I brought out my stratum really quick so that we can do this one, and they're sitting in some water so that the roots don't dry up. But once I like actually pot these up and they actually get some nutrients and more light, they're gonna grow and do a lot better. I'm gonna scoot forward actually a little bit. And then I'm gonna bend you down so that you can see. Try to work with the sun here. So again, this is the Micans Aria that completely reverted. So this leaf is damaged here on the end, but it's still green. So having this little bit of green that can photosynthesize will be better than cutting it off, even though it's an uglier leaf. And the only roots that this plant has is really this bottom section and a couple like aerial roots was growing in up top. I see variegation on the stem, and it looks like the stem is kind of variegated on one side and green on the other side. I really want to promote variegation down here. So this torn leaf came out after this all green one. So what I'm going to do is cut above this green. This was one of the first leaves. I'm going to cut above this one on the node, or in between the inner node part here. Just like that. And I wash these shears really good too. I sanitize them. So this one is a reverted strand, but it has nodes that it can grow from. I don't know if anything below here would activate because there's another, I don't know if you can tell, there's multiple nodes here on the end. There's like this one where a leaf came out of, so that's no good, but there's this one here where this leaf is, and then there's one here. So I potentially have a couple activations from this, and variegation did come out after this, so I have hopes that this will grow in variegated. So I'm gonna be sticking this in a cup of stratum, and since this is a variegated leaf, the next one grew all green. I'm gonna cut here, because again, I'd rather keep this leaf because it's going to grow better with the leaf on. So that is 2. I hate to like leave this tiny leaf as like a top propagation, but I want to cut this off because I want to promote variegation on this node. So that's another cutting. And then this is like technically sort of a wet stick. I'm gonna leave this little top portion as is. Even though this is growing green, it may grow variegated down the line. Who's to really say, like with variegation, if I let it continue to grow, it may produce more down the road. So I have the 4 cuttings and we're gonna stick this in a container of stratum. I'm gonna pot these up together just to save on space and stratum, because I can separate these down the road. I really, really hope this one does well because this has been like a wish list plant for so long. I was so excited to even get this import order in. All right, let's fill up. I just have some like regular filtered water here. Okay, that is the Micans Aria all done. So hopefully in some time this will look a lot better. So since we're done 3 in pond, I'm only doing 1 in soil, which is this philodendron. So let's do that one next, and then we'll do the pond. We'll do the pond last. And this is, I would say this isn't quite a 4-inch. It was supposed to be a 4-inch, but it's more closer to a 3-inch in size. You know, I'm just going based off the root system. So all the original roots down here rotted, and there's tons of individual nodes. But I'm just gonna plant this in the soil as is. I'm just gonna try and, yeah, this leaf is coming off. We're gonna get rid of that leaf, which is sad because that's a pretty leaf. But the main root system that it's rooting from is this node here. So I'm gonna try and plant this down in the soil kind of far enough. Some of these leaves are gonna get covered with soil, but that's okay. I just want majority of the roots down here, even though it's like way up here. The new leaf is kind of doing this Cinderella slipper thing, so it's already getting stuck right here. So that new leaf is probably gonna come in all wonky, but I'll just probably end up having to cut that one off. And then once it situates in soil, I'll be able to, it'll grow better. So I kind of have it down in there like that. And then we're just gonna fill up. This cocoa core is very like light and fluffy, and I use like a lot of orchid bark and perlite and stuff, so I really try to like shake it so it settles all in around the roots. And I need a little tray to water that one. Okay. Okay, so we are going to get started on the pond. I want to do this one in pond, but the way that it is, it's like one vine, and I kind of want to have multiple growing. I think, do I even want to cut this and stress this plant out? It's just like this vine or this root is all the way up here, and then I have a middle root and then the root system on this node. So I feel like it's going to be potted weird. You know, I'm just going to start this in this small vessel pond. It's going to have this aerial root somewhat out of the reservoir, but that's okay. I really don't want to do soil for this one just because I've had such a hard time with it. My old one I had such a hard time with. You know what I could do is, this bottom node is nothing. I could root this wet stick. Actually, I'm going to cut here on the bottom. So I have a little wet stick. And then I can fit this down in here better. These roots are already used to like semi-hydro, so I might as well just stick with pond. For plants that I know are a bit more stubborn, if that makes sense. This leaf is kind of like all the way in here, so it might yellow off. I'm gonna stick this node like right on top of here, kind of aerial root side down, and just see what it does. I don't really want to stick it in moss. I feel like it's just gonna rot. We'll just leave it right on top. Kind of like, whoop, right there. With these little, these are, I think, a 3-inch Pot Me clear pot. And I got these little tumblers at Target. I think they were like $1 each. And these ones like fit right in here as like a self-watering. I wish I had a wick to put down in here. That would be perfect. Actually, I think I do have wick string, but I've just been filling up with some water. Fits nicely down in here, and the bottom of the pond is in water, so that's kind of what I've been doing with this, and it's just going to wick up. So that's how I'm going to leave that one and just see how it does. I did the same setup with my 2 small alocasias, and the one is doing really well. Let me show you. I did this recently in a video, but this is one I did the same way. This is a kind of rehab alocasia, and this is like a new leaf it put out since being in pond. Do you see? It already looks so much happier, and it's kind of set up the same way. So I'll leave it like this and watch the root system, and then I'll invest in some. This will probably go into one of those 5-inch self-watering planters after this grows and establishes more of a root system, but I think this is perfect for now. The sun is really coming in now. I have 2 more left. Chasing the sun. Now this pot is going to be very big for this one here in the root system, but I'm going to go ahead and pot it in here anyway. I feel like it'll grow into it, and I am so excited to have this one. When I did my wish list video, I said I wanted like a strappy anthurium, and I completely forgot that this one was in the import. So I'm super excited. And for it to be variegated, I still want a Pallidiflorum though, so I will buy that one. So we're gonna go ahead and just put this one right in the center. There's a leaf missing. Wonder if somebody got into this. Ooh, see, this looks nice. And I already feel like there's something happening like down in here. There's new growth or something coming in. This looks so good. I'm already super excited for this one. When I just transition them, I don't like to leave like a ton of water in the reservoir, so I kind of have it more on the very low side. Look how good that looks. It looks so good in potted up. I wish I could have got him over a little bit more this way, but that's okay. It'll kind of grow in, and it looks so like perky. Love this guy. Last one is this big guy, and I'm just so unsure of what to do with this root system. I kind of got rid of a lot that was rotted, but I'm wondering if I should just cut more off. You know, I'm gonna cut some of these longer ones off. I'm just gonna do it. That way it'll fit in my pot better, and it'll, oh no, Luna, and it will grow better roots. So we got rid of a few long ones. I definitely would have gone with a bigger container for this guy, but it's all I have right now, so I'd rather pot him in this now and let him situate and then upsize if I have to, like, sooner. Do you know what I mean? Kind of like fanned the root system out so it can fit in here a little bit better. Okay, in we go. Cut this brown spot off. It's definitely a huge anthurium. You can't even see it all. I'm going to show you I'm gonna back away and show you them all again. I'm not in love with this anthurium. I didn't pick this one and I wouldn't have got this one. So I don't know if I'll keep this plant, but I'm just gonna put him in here now and find a spot for him. And we'll see how I feel about him in some time. Sometimes it takes plants a little while to grow on me, but I don't really care for the leaf shape, it being an anthurium. Even though it's variegated, I don't know. I feel like it's one that I'm probably not gonna keep. Here is what they're looking like. So again, we have this big anthurium, this one here. And then we have the philodendron, the Monstera Peru that's in pond, and then the micans there that's in stratum. So since I have a little bit of room in my cabinet, I'm thinking I'm probably just gonna do the mican since it's in stratum, and I might try and squeeze this anthurium in there. And then I'm gonna put the philodendron and Monstera probably over here somewhere, and then I might just squeeze this guy in somewhere over there too on the shelf, because I don't really have room for any more plants in here, but I think I can squeeze these all in. Oh, I know. Hi, cutie. Hi. Yeah. Hi, babies. Yeah. Yeah. Got Chai here too. Hi, Chai. Oh, I know. Yeah. Cuties. Thank you for watching. The sun is really coming in now, but I'll definitely keep you updated on how they're doing in some time. I feel like they're all gonna do well. I don't feel like they wouldn't. I think I'm most eager to see what the micans is gonna do and the new growth that comes out. I really, crossing my fingers, hope that I get some good variegation, because if they're reverted and they don't do well, I'm gonna be very sad. But we'll see. I have my hopes up that I'm gonna get some like color to come back in. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you enjoyed. I'll have all my like previous import videos linked down below in case you missed anything. And yeah, I will talk to you guys again very soon.